Again, so we have a piece of graphite, you have your tissue, you have your pencil, you have an eraser, you have your ruler. Make a horizon line about 2/3 the way up on your page. Again, my format is representing your edge of the page in your sketchbook. Again, this is on page 13. This horizon line is going to divide the sky from the earth as well as the water. So first thing that I want to do too as well is I'm going to tone my page using this graphite, okay, and the tissue. I'm not going to use my finger. Why? Because the oils from my fingers will create a kind of a graphite paint. So what I'm going to do is just slowly, and not necessarily using the flat part. I'm going to use kind of like I'm going to hold it like this so that this edge here is on the page, is hitting the page, versus just the flat. And as you can see from previous drawing I wrote here, you can see the pattern of a Volkswagen bus. So we're just going to do this. We're going to lay down some graphite. Some of these areas are going to be darker, that's fine. Okay. Now, I'm going to use my tissue. I'm going to get rid of some of the debris underneath this thing. This is what I get for recycling paper. I'm using as much as I can. Just use my tissue here, kind of go through and smudge these areas. And get a kind of a middle tone. And if I'm not really happy with certain areas, like now I'm gonna go darker here. Smooth this out a little bit. Boop, boop. Okay. So I have a cool middle tone. And I want to add some clouds to this, right? So I'm going to use my eraser. You guys all have an eraser, a little pink eraser in your art kits. We're gonna make some like cumulus looking clouds. Okay. Big fluffy, pillowy clouds. And I'm going to use a circular motion and take away graphite. Bye, Nico. I'm gonna keep it kind of random. That. Going. And I'm just kind of playing around with the negative space, taking away a little bit of this graphite. Now I want to keep it kind of natural, so I'm moving around a lot. Don't want to make them perfect. I can also go in with the graphite, kind of play around with the tone, and we darken the spaces beneath it. I'm going to take my tissue, ball it up, Just like so. You see that? Okay, now, pretty fun. Got clouds in the distance, then we can just go in and hit some highlights. Maybe our light source is to the left. Creating that contrast does help. Creating a look of depth on the page. Darken the areas top. Good contrast. Okay. So what we're gonna do this kind of fall day is we're also going to, let's draw kind of a coastline here. Maybe it's our coastline, who knows? And let's say that it hooks a little bit. All right. And I'm going to shade this. Now we got clouds. Got clouds. It's kind of an overcast day. So we have our background elements, guys, but maybe you want to include some stuff in the foreground, right? So why don't we, let's build a beach, maybe. I'm gonna come from here. I'm gonna go all the way around this way. Cool, right? Now, maybe there's some rocks in the surf, intertidal surf area here that people can walk on. Alright? During low tide, or maybe jump off of, right? Shade in these rocks. Now, we're gonna have some surf too. I mean, let's show some surf. So right now we have parts, this is, we're filling in kind of our middle ground here. We have our background, right? So I'm gonna put some waves in here. So maybe the wave direction is coming this way, right? So that it's coming to us from here, from this point over here coming in. Maybe it's breaking, like, say for instance, the north-facing beach is coming from the northwest. So I'm gonna do a couple lines here, 1, 2, and then maybe a third one right here. All right. I'm just showing these lines as lines of surf, right? Maybe one in the background here, so we have like, these are closer together, this is a little bit further apart. And have a little bend to them, not necessarily straight across, but kind of with a bend, you know what I mean? So, we're gonna have some surf. Now here's the thing, you know, drawing waves, it's really kind of an illusion. So we're gonna take this line here and then we're going to have certain areas that are kind of bending. So we'll go to this line back here, this one right here, it's kind of, we're making it kind of a broken natural line. And we'll just create these little indications of a curve on the top, like it's curving down. You see that? Start on the line and then roll it and then taper it off, just like that. Just like so. Maybe thicken it up a little bit at the top and then keep it narrow at the bottom, kind of thing. So it looks like a little rolling wave, right? Okay. We'll kind of do the same thing on the back, but not so evident, just really small lines. And this is, all it is just showing, just giving a little indication of movement. And as we go closer towards this background element, we're gonna just make our lines smaller, you know? It's reaching across. And then we're gonna shade out a little bit too as well. Kind of blend those together, right? Now we're going to go to this line right here, and this line, and we're going to show a little bit of a curl, you know what I'm saying? Because it's getting closer to the beach, and the wave is starting to feel the bottom of the sand, so we're going to have it kind of breaking, right? Right here. So I'm going to do a little curve, like a reverse C, just like that. This is going to be one of a breaking wave, okay? And then I'm doing that all inside the line. And instead of having this sloping line, what we're going to have is just kind of a curved line coming from that line down. See that? Another rock right there, so that looks pretty dangerous. Like, crashing wave. So then here in this area, this part of the wave is kind of crashing onto those rocks, right? So we're gonna kind of indicate that with just little explosions, right? Kind of jagged lines, just like so. Now within those jagged lines is where I'm going to use my eraser. I'm going to grab the tip of my eraser and go through and take away some graphite. Am I going too fast, guys? See that? Breaking waves. Okay. We'll go through. And do. All right. Now, continuing over here on this wave right here, this is just, we're gonna do more sloping lines, but something like that. Okay. So we have waves coming in, breaking on these rocks. We have our beach, okay? And then what's gonna happen is in here, we're gonna do a bunch of kind of random lines, kind of moving around. And this is the breakwater kind of thing that's going on. You know, where the surf is kind of foamy and swirling, right? So in here, we can go through and kind of lighten some of our values to give it that illusion that we got foam, foamy, swirly water. It's moving around. Not cool. I'm also going to go through don't worry, Morgan, it's okay. You can watch this later and then do the drawing then, okay? I'm also going to go through and kind of just use my pencil to kind of do some line shading here and there. At the bottom of these troughs here, I'm gonna shade. Right, because they're not getting as much light as the tops of the waves. I'm gonna do a little shading. So these are gonna be middle ground. This is all stuff happening in the middle ground of our landscape here. I guess you could call it a seascape. Right. Breaking wave. Same thing over here. Darken here. And then kind of darken back here along the horizon line. Okay. You can also use your eraser again, kind of pull out some highlights top of these waves. Yeah. You can also go through and darken areas that we know are going to be maybe in shadow. All right. So, pretty cool little beachscape. And this is the kind of down and dirty version of it. So, what can we put into the foreground, the things that are going to be closest to us? Well, there's a lot of options, right? Maybe a piece of driftwood. And we'll just draw kind Another piece of driftwood. Okay. Maybe some ice plant, or actually one of those other kind of plants that does this like weird these weird flowers that are really tall, kind of cone-like, right? These are the leaves. So I'm just using spiraling, tapering leaves. I know some of you are probably already visiting family during vacation time, and that's fine. Don't worry about it. Again, what's cool about my class, guys, is that you have access to everything that we do in class 24/7. Not that I want you to miss class. There's nothing like the live demonstrations, but if you must, you have the ability to catch up by watching the YouTube channel. Okay? So you can draw along with your family members during your vacation. I have a ton of videos if you want to watch and do some other drawings with me. Most of them happening during the first round of quarantine. And we're going into the second round of lockdown, so seems like. So if you have to travel, then travel. If you don't have to, don't. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so here we go. I'm just doing some driftwood here. Some knots. Maybe a nice driftwood log that you can sit on while you're checking out the beach. Alright. And then maybe another bush right here, some kind of bush. And I will just shade this. Got a hole right there. Shape this. And meld it all together. Okay. And then maybe just go through and put some more, maybe foam from the sea. Okay guys, so I'm going to use the eraser, maybe pull some highlights out onto this piece of driftwood, and then it'll be pretty much done for your introduction to landscape drawing. Yeah? So this is an introduction to landscapes/seascapes. As you can see, we have elements in our background, our middle ground, and our foreground. This is a fundamental introduction to landscape/seascape drawing.